Okay, I think everyone is here now. Only a few have not put their names in the chat yet. Just one more person. Good day. Let's see who we have. So there's Ada, Annette, I think you were in first. Carla, Marco, Dana, Fernanda, Gabby, Dalia, Jacqueline, Obed, Monse, and Pacheco. Not Fernanda. Good day, everyone. So we're going to be looking to wrap up today, and we're going to be focusing on these. How do we use before, when, until, and by the time? Now you can consider them in different situations in different ways. We're going to be focusing on them as time expressions, all right? They're adverbial phrases, and they help us with time. In the preview video, we looked at them as past perfect. And the video I sent to you via WhatsApp, you also saw them as future conditional type phrases. And that's true because they can work in different situations. All right, we're going to look at some different examples. We're going to practice some different ways of using them. And of course, if you have questions throughout, let me know. The goal today is to review our last block. And hopefully you've already done everything that you need to get done in this level, right? Now, when we talk about expressions of time, we usually link them to different tenses. So in this unit, we've been looking at the tenses used in third conditional, which is the present perfect and the past perfect, as well as modals, right? Now, specifically today, you can look at the answers. Specifically today, we're going to be looking at adverb clauses of time, all right? And I want you to practice specifically those four mentioned in your unit. So adverbial phrases, we're going to look at before, when, until, by the time. We'll add some more because there's some others that are also useful. These adverbial clauses do the work of describing the time of the action. All right? So let's start with when. All right? And since Annette, I think you were the very first one there in the waiting room. Let's start with you. When?
Number one,
Yes, please.
when. The word when is generally used to indicate at the moment or at the time. You can also notice the difference in the tense that are used. All the clauses are in relation to clause, which indicates that they are beginning with time. When you are using the word when, then make sure that it will take the form of simple past or simple present. Most of the dependent clause change the tense in relation to when clause. Maria was talking on the phone when all her friends arrived at the party. She was walking down the lane when he was working on his programs. Megna could wash the dishes when her baby was asleep. We can have lunch when you are done with your homework.
All right. So when we think of time phrases in our sentences, as we join the sentences together, we notice that one action is happening here, and then we have a description of the time of that action. All right, and that's when in these situations here. All right, let's go down to before. Ada.
Yes, before. The word before is used to indicate the before moment. Make sure that you remember to use the word before in a simple past or present. The food will be finished before Megan, ¿o cómo se dice? Megan?
I think they spoiled her name. I think they were trying to write Megan, but the letters are not in the right place.
Arrives. She left for the train before I could call her.
All right. And let's look at one more before I do a quick review here with Carla.
After, the word after will indicate an event which is happening after. Sometimes the word is used to explain the future. Ya no veo. Como que hay un cuadrito. Gracias. The future moments, past or past perfect. You'll finish the homework after returning from the Zoom. Moana worked after I left the room. We will finish after he comes. She ate after I had left.
All right. Now, these are used almost exactly the same way as they are used in Spanish. All right. So you can think of your when as your cuando. Algo está pasando cuando algo pasó. All right. And your before, your antes, and your after, your después. Now, these are common phrases in your past perfect, in your future, in your conditional phrases, because they help us identify the time of the action. Now, present perfect, not so much because the time is not always important in the present perfect as the action. All right, let's look at three more. Marco, while. Remember to turn up your microphone, Marco. Yes, it's a little bit low. Can check your microphone.
Yeah.
Yes, there is better.
While as. Okay. I yeah. While as. The words while and as are used in combination, which will both work in the past continuous tense. It explains that during that time moment in this sentence, it will indicate the action. I began work was washing the dishes while all the students were writing. The teacher started a new chapter.
Good. Right? And that while is like your durante or your mientras. Now, while is also pretty similar to your until. Now, they're not the same. We're going to come back to it, but it's very similar. It's basically showing two actions happening simultaneously. All right? And we're going to see how that is important. Now, before we get into the others, we also saw when. Now, when is your cuando, but your as soon as, while it's similar, is more like en cuanto. So be very, very careful how you switch between your alternatives. All right? For example, you don't want to be using your when your situation is tan pronto como tal, you would not use your when. You'd always use your as soon as. Because what you want to get across is there is a condition before the other, right? So while they're similar, the as soon as is emphasizing more of the main clause. So this has to happen first, and then this will happen, which you'll see a lot in your conditionals. All right? Your before and your after, this is also true. Before, after, they can just be parts of the same flow of actions. However, you might need that one thing happens for the other thing to happen. All right, so en cuanto o tan pronto is more useful in certain situations because one condition has to be fulfilled first. It's not a must and then. All right, so be super careful how you choose the alternatives for your words. All right, let's continue with until and by the time. Help us here, Romina, by the time.
Yeah, by the time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, by the time, um, it is basically used to express or convey the idea of an event that is completed before another. You must note that this word is used as an adverbial clause in the past perfect tense and future perfect tense. It will impact the main clause of the sentence. By the time they finished, she had cooked dinner. Students will have finished their homework by the time teachers arrive.
And if you think of the third conditional phrasings that we had done, and if we want to apply the same idea, I regret something from the past and I wish I could change it, this would be my new result. You can also use by the time in those phrases. For example, if I had taken a scholarship to a sports high school, I would have become a professional football player by the time I entered college. But I didn't go to a sports high school. And I didn't become a professional football player by the time I entered college. All right. So we can use phrases like this in the conditional that we practiced last class. All right. And one more, number 6, Perez Cabrera.
Until. With these adverbial clauses, you can express up to that time. It will be used in either a simple past or simple present. Let's have a look at the examples. We should wait until she finished her cooking. Megan will work until you finish yours.
All right. Now, these examples are showing us how to make use of these time clauses in different situations. In our case, let's focus a little bit. Let's focus on using them in the present and a little bit in the future and a little bit in the past. So we get a little bit of each 3 time breakdowns. All right, so start over here with those examples that you got a peek of. Let's go back to you, Fernanda. You want to start? Perez?
Okay, es que no se ve porque hay un cuadrito.
Yeah, let me move it up. There you go.
Science.
Mm-hmm.
Mary always did well on her Spanish tests. His brother wasn't surprised that she got an A.
Good. All right. So this is a look at what always happens, more of your past routines. Now, still with you. Let's pull on the other Fernanda, Pacheco. What should we use here? T, Fernanda.
Yes. Have you been to Paris already, or was that the first time?
Right. Why not already? Remember, we use already more with the present perfect. It works like your ya. This person is asking you about your past. And one way is to use before. ¿Has visitado París antes? O esta vez es la primera vez? Is more what they're asking here. All right? Let's try again.
Had you been to Paris before, or was that your first time?
All right. Let's practice some more. Let's go in. This time, let's go down. Gabriela.
Tell your sister to keep the orange used in the refrigeration. ¿No? ¿Cómo? Refrigerador.
Refrigerator.
¿Cómo?
Refrigerator.
Refrigerator.
Mhm.
So that it doesn't go bad.
All right. Giving here, not time, but reason. All right, let's look at another time-related one. Dalia.
All the shops had closed. I don't know. Already?
All right, let's look at an example. All right, so we know that we have quite a few words we can use. We have words like after, we have words like when, we have words like before, we have words like until. We also have other phrases like, in this one we saw, here's one. All right, when do we use by the time? Well, let's go back. We use by the time to express what happened now that we're there. All right, this is complete. And when I get there, this is my reality that I'm facing. In this case, we should use by the time. Let me put before here and go to the next one. All right. By the time. All right. So we got to town. All the shops had already been closed. All right. You were late. Practice with me. All the shops
Okay.
were closed.
All the shops had closed by the time we got into town.
And phrases like these also follow the double pattern rule. You can start with the result first and then have the condition. By the time we got into the town, all the shops had closed. That's also true. All right? Jackie, number 3.
Yes. Although
Mm-hmm.
he thinks he knows with years happened, he doesn't.
Right? Given contrast there. And Obed.
First, I hadn't found the weather what time to meet Elizabeth. Um,
Right? And if last class was more like
I had before.
like Carol G's Que hubiera sido, today's class is more like Juan Gabriel hasta te conocí. All right? I hadn't
Until.
You think until goes here?
Until.
All right, let's practice. Not until. I hadn't yet. All right. Until comes after the verb. That's also another thing about positioning. All right, so let's go over here to this one. Look at where you're until here. We should wait until, work until. Your until will come after your verb. All right. Your yet is a little bit more versatile. All right. I hadn't yet posted. Repeat.
Perdón, es que me está fallando el internet. Sí,
No.
soy yo, ¿verdad?
Go ahead. I hadn't yet. Uh-huh.
Ok, dice, I hadn't yet posted the letter when Toby spoke to me in the street.
All right. If we want to use until, it would come after. I hadn't posted the letter until Toby spoke to me. All right. Here we have when. That's already splitting the sentences in two. All right. Let's continue with Monse. Number 4 over here, Monse.
Yes. Tim said goodbye to his parents. Tim said goodbye to his parents before he moved to New York.
Good. And one more for over here. Let's go with Vanessa.
When we go to the theater, we show had already started.
Already started. Good.
Started.
All right. So practice your clauses. Choose the ones that make your sentences correct. All right. Use words that you understand. If you don't understand other words, search for them, look at them in other sentences so you can see the context and you can see the patterns and practice, practice, practice. Now remember, I am seeing your emails, guys, so don't worry so much. If you think I haven't, send me a message and I'll check and I'll tell you in the moment. I am seeing your emails, right? Your exam for 1 and 2 is open, so go ahead. If you've completed your 4 blocks, you can go in and you can do the exam.
Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome. Your deadline is the second day of the week. That's Tuesday the 11th. And the next Saturday, take a break. Take your Valentine's weekend, spend time with your family, your friends, or your loved ones, and we'll come back on the 22nd. When we come back, we'll do passive voice. And then we'll have another session to do more adverbs and prepositions of time. So we can practice more expressions for the new grammar topic that we will do. All right. If you haven't done anything, take the advantage of the time to do your folders or your old missed forums, whatever you need to do. And if you need help, just send me a message. All right. Be safe, have fun, and I'll see you very, very soon.